perfect world, I want every show that I mentioned to get something, you know, in the Emmys, but they're all winners to me. I enjoyed them. That's why I made a video about them. So yeah. You can say SZA and her Hit Different inspired me, Hit Different in this new style. But also, yes, not only are we here with these cute, with this nice beaded Afrocentric black ass look, we are getting glammed up today. We go into the Emmys. Yes, the Emmys is gonna be out soon, and I just wanted to discuss some of my favorite TV shows that have been out right now and that have actually been nominated for Emmys. Who's been nominated? We got Insecure, we got Rami, we got Succession, we got Watchmen. We got so much. So I'm gonna discuss the ones that I particularly enjoyed watching and why you might want to watch too. So let's get into the review. So I want to start with Insecure. At the time that it came out, a lot of protests were going, and you can see, like, in the Hollywood Reporter, Issa Rae mentions that a lot of her team were very hesitant to put the show out because there's like, does this mean something at this time? Is this necessary to put out? And actually, very happy that she did put the show out, her and her team, because it did give us a nice outlet. I thought this season of Insecure was one of the best. Like, I thought season 3 was good, but I didn't feel the ending was actually an ending. Like, do y'all feel the same way? Like, am I tripping? Season 4, I felt the storytelling in each episode was just a little more on point. I mean, of course, Issa Rae gives us so many funny moments. She gives us so much good content, and you know, and I love the show because I love how much it is an ode to LA. I am an LA girl. Issa Rae is LA girl, and you can tell how much she loves LA in the show, and I just love all the beautiful scenic shots. It's really a love story to Black LA. So how did y'all feel about the ending of Insecure this season? Were you into it? Did you like it? Where was your head at? Because I don't know, I wasn't in love with the ending, and I'm probably not the only one that was like, of course you always wanted a different ending than what happened. Lawrence, Condola, canola oil, the names for Condola were hilarious too. Got some hair accessories in to match this side. Only a highlight of the season was I was not sure how they were gonna pull Lawrence and Issa back together. And honestly, the way the show was kind of going, like, how are they gonna squeeze this in? And when they kind of reconnect is definitely later in the season, but I actually thought they did it. It was fantastic. It was beautiful how they how the show brought Issa and Lawrence back together. Natasha, the actress who plays Kelly, she directed one of the episodes, as well as Kerry Washington, and those two episodes definitely were some of my favorites. The cinematography was so beautiful in both episodes, especially Kerry Washington's. I love the montage she gave of them falling back in love. It was art. It was everything. So I'm putting my beads on. So this is the last one. So in lieu of, like, it's like kind of like threading a needle, you line it up and then I loop my hair at the bottom and just pull it through. And now I'm gonna come in with the rubber band just to lock it in place. Okay, so I am done with this. So it looks cute. I may even add a little more. Who knows? Next show on the docket is actually one because I saw that this show was nominated for like 18 awards, something like that. I was like, we gotta try and binge watch it. And even though I had no interest beforehand in trying to watch the show, I finally saw Succession, and Succession. Succession is really good. It is really good. If you were ever confused about how entitled corporate business people act, Succession will definitely clear that up for you. They are giving you the handbook on so much of this corporate world. They're so into money and power that they will sell out their mom, their brother, anyone. The best part of Succession for me is that it really is showing you how much ego can really destroy relationships. Like the father in Succession, Logan, Kendall has called him a beast, and yeah, he got a beast mindset. His ego is off the charts. It's like he doesn't even care about his children, but mostly it's his ego. You see it from season 1, especially in season 1 and in parts of season 2, that he sees his son Kendall is doing well in the business. I think he sees him on Forbes in like the first episode, and that is the switch where he's like, I gotta destroy him because he's doing better than him. And it's crazy to think that there are some parents out here that will shit on their kids because you're afraid that they'll be better than you. And I'm like, what? Like, that's your kid. What? So I watched both seasons. I loved season 1. And I think it was definitely one of my favorite. It's definitely my favorite season. But season 2 is still very, very good. And what saved it for me was the last episode. That last episode, I rewatched it. It saved it for me because I'm like, my boy Kendall acting, he ain't being himself this season, and we get why. I won't spoil why. But I'm like, my boy Kendall, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you following after your dad like a kick puppy? Like, ugh, I was tired of it. And boy, Succession showed up on that last episode. As a reader and as just someone in life, I cannot stand when people are manipulated, or when, you know, people will wield their power and act like they can do anything to you. I rejoice. It just revs me up when a character finally stands the F up and I think we all love that as an audience. We love to see someone take their power back. When is this gonna happen for Kendall? The writing is on the wall. This man don't love you. Or sadly, this man is so wrapped up in himself, he can't love you. And I'm just happy that Kendall was like, I am not about to be the scapegoat. You go, Kendall. Power to you. You do your thing, rich white boy. You know? You do your thing. You go off because they don't deserve you in that BS of a family. But yeah, season 2 really got saved by the last episode for me. Yes, Succession. You did that. Let's get into one of my next favorite shows to watch during lockdown. It was Ramy. Ramy, just offbeat, quirky, dark humor.
Have you showered since you last masturbated?
What? With the...
You must come to Allah clean.
It's Muslim. It's a soft S, like pussy. Pussy Muslim.
Yeah,
pussy Muslim.
I think there's other ways to learn this stuff.
Yes. Ramy is one of those stories that is so unique and quirky that you can only tell that it's from someone's own life experience. Like, you can't just fabricate a story like this unless you got somebody from the Muslim community, Egyptian community in this writer's room. And thankfully we have this show. Ramy is by Ramy and Youssef, and you know, it also has so many different shenanigans that you gotta be from that world to know that world. And I just like, that is one of what I love about Ramy, is that it shows a world without trying to make it perfect. It shows, and I think that's sometimes what we do, especially if people of color, we try to have shows. When we do have a show, we try to make it seem like we're perfect and that we don't have any flaws, like we're the model. This is the model, nothing bad ever happens here. And it's like, but Ramy is really, at times it is really raw. At times it is very, very funny. And at times it is just showing you a world, an insight into a world you likely just really didn't know about. Stories about the Muslim community, you're always bombarded with a war-torn country, people that have been affected by war, and it's like, and those stories obviously are valid, but that's not the only stories. And I love that Ramy gives a look at what a family in New Jersey that is Muslim, what is their life. And so season 2 was just, it was so good. I love season 2 more than season 1. I can't help it. It was good because it shines a light on an aspect of the Muslim community that I wasn't aware of. And many Muslims are Black, but I didn't realize that they faced discrimination in the Muslim community, or at least, you know, in faith. Maybe that was very naive of me, maybe, and I like that the show pointed that out to me because I didn't expect that. Mahershala Ali, he was phenomenal. He's actually he was nominated as a supporting character, and I mean, I'm gunning for him to get that. He better get that.
I want to change, and I heard you can help me.
Speak the straightforward word, brother.
I want you to be my teacher. I want to kill my ego.
How do I know I'm not just another one of your desires?
I don't want to have sex with you.
And I felt like he shared such an impressive look on millennials and young people in this time. Like, he's very unsure of himself, unaware of where he is, what his place is, and you see his confusion. And I felt for him because he's wandering. He's trying to be quote unquote a good Muslim. He's trying to dive into his faith. But I think this season was also just trying to examine what it means when you're always seeking spiritual dessert or spiritual enlightenment, and what that means to the people around you, especially with his dynamic with Mahershala Ali. Because we saw with Mahershala's character, we saw so many times that Mahershala was kind of taken aback with Ramy. Yeah, mostly his character, some of his decisions, and so his faith was tested too. You could see like how graceful he was too as a supporting character, because what went down, any other man would have gone the F off, and any other man would have been like, nah son, it ain't going down like this. You ain't about to embarrass my daughter like this. His daughter's character, Zainab, I love Zainab. She was beautiful. She was so intelligent, so smart, she was an interesting character too. And you see the dynamics of what is it like to be a Black woman in Muslim when you're a Black woman.
We really appreciate.
This dog respects you. It recognizes your power. I just repeated what you were saying. That guy didn't listen to anything that you said.
I think he respects dogs more than Black women.
I hope this isn't the last time we see Mahershala or Zainab. I'm sorry, I don't know. I just want to say Mahershala. So yeah. I'm hoping this isn't the last time we see him or his daughter in the show, Zainab, because I feel like they brought so much great chemistry into the show and a beautiful dynamic into the show. Don't know what season 3 has yet. I just want to see how things turn out. And I mean, I get why Zainab had to do what she had to do. I totally get that. I totally understand why she just had to get the F out, because that pretty picture of a wedding and a marriage with Ramy just was not looking how it was gonna look. And also on that point, anyway, you gotta watch the show because shit gets messy in a really great way, in a really entertaining and engaging and incredible way. So I'm gonna tell y'all, definitely watch Ramy. Perfect. So now onto one of my very favorite shows of this year. I mentioned it somewhat in my Lovecraft Country video, but Watchmen is nominated. Before all this craziness happened, it felt like people underestimated this show, and especially the kind of the conversations it was bringing up about our society and, you know, racism in America. Even in an alternate universe, what does this look like? What does it look like when we reckon with our past? Watchmen really challenges us to look at that. It kind of became like this precursor to like everything we've kind of sort of are living through right now, especially as, you know, lockdown happened and now everybody wearing masks, because, you know, in Watchmen, policemen were the only people that wore masks, but now everybody wearing masks in our real world. There's been a discussion about reparations, but reparations, and the show really brought to light that we didn't know. And I think a lot of Black people, unless you were from Tulsa, Oklahoma, or, you know, had just knowledge of it specifically, you didn't know about this. You didn't know that this happened. This show brought it to light, and you can't deny that what all the conversation around Tulsa, all the conversation around even reparations, is because Watchmen made a dang good point about it. I think it really showed us that the power of if you are gonna adapt something to screen, and you do want to change the narrative, just want to take us on a different road. When you have good writers in the room, you have inclusion, and you care about who's behind the stories you're telling, you can really take us down that road and show us something magnificent. Regina King, give her check, give her props, give her all the kudos. She deserves all of that and more. I really wish I could rant and rave more, but if you want to know more of my thoughts on Watchmen, please view my my blog post on Watchmen. I blogged about Watchmen when the show originally ended around, you know, earlier in the year. I wanted to talk about what I don't actually mention in my blog post about Watchmen. I actually want to mention now. So some of the discourse that kind of irked me around Watchmen was that people were saying they didn't believe that Angela Abar and Dr. Manhattan were in love. Because the fact of the matter is, Watchmen, there's elements of them being romantic. They're a family. They have adopted children together. They're husband and wife, but it's not necessarily centered on their love story. If so, the show would have been told differently. But what they do in episode 8, which has been described as one of the best demonstrations of Dr. Manhattan's power, that is our window into how they met and how they fell in love and how he experiences his moments with Angela. And so I just really didn't like that people were saying they didn't believe that they were in love, because it's like, I just feel like that has some undertones to it. Because she didn't approach Dr. Manhattan. She wasn't even a fan of Dr. Manhattan. He approached her, and Dr. Manhattan takes it upon himself to become human, like to erase his memory and such like that. Angela didn't urge him to do that. She didn't say, if you love me, you're gonna erase your memory of having power, and that'll prove that you love me. She didn't do that. He did that. Of course they love each other. Of course, for him to take that risk and kind of change himself to become human again and kind of somewhat adapt, like this is what we will need to have a life together, even if I'm not able to be my pseudo god self. That is an act of great love. And for her to protect him at any cost,
this is the moment. I just told you that you can't save me. And you're gonna try to anyway.
That is an act and demonstration of love. Like, how can y'all say you didn't believe they were in love? But anyway, Watchmen, 10 out of 10, the best. Baker's doesn't. It was the bomb. It was awesome. I hope it wins some stuff because it deserves to. And yes, that is Watchmen. Okay, so this is the final look. How do you feel about it? These braids are gonna be in for a while. I can't help it. I'm proud of myself. I did these box braids. It was totally on a whim, an experiment, but I'm glad I saw the vision. I went with the vision, and these beads helped complete the vision. Also, I hope you enjoyed this video. What are your predictions? Who do you want to win? I mean, of course, if in a perfect world, I want every show that I mentioned to get something, you know, in the Emmys, but they're all winners to me. I enjoyed them. That's why I made a video about them. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this video. Can't wait to see you next time. So hold onto your seats, hold onto your edges, because these videos are coming at ya. Okay, see you next time.